Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I'd like to talk about remote viewing. I've done some of that. Sometimes Spirit will show me meetings, such as the meeting with Emmett Flood and Mick Mulvaney and Trump. And that turned out to be an important issue because Emmett Flood had resigned then later that day or the next day. So, I have been trying to do a little more of that, being open to those flashes and that remote viewing that Spirit would like me to see rather than so much, asking a question, being open to what comes. So, I just wanted to share with you today that I went on a walk and asked about that, is there anything I should see? And I right away saw Putin. I saw him having a meeting. And he was having a meeting with, and see, I wish that I was more educated about all of the aspects of the different governments, but I did not know that when he was speaking to Dmitry, that would have been Dmitry, his prime minister. So, Dmitry M. I don't have his last name in front of me, but right, Dmitry is prime minister who had been president before Putin, and these two work very closely together. And I looked it up later and found out that would have been the Dmitry. And they were talking about NATO. They really do want to destroy NATO. They really do. I mean, and this is a long history. This has a lot. I read up a little bit more on that too after this remote viewing, and talking about Erdogan, right? The right-wing Turkish leader that came in, talking about using him as a vehicle to manipulate somebody else, a leader of a country that is part of the NATO alliance. And I believe that was Greece. I then looked up later the photos of the leaders of Greece, and Greece just got a new leader elected, and not right wing, not far right. Interesting. So they were having a conversation about using Erdogan to manipulate or somehow influence this new Greek president. I believe president, not prime minister. So that's really very interesting, isn't it? And I was reading more and more of the history, and it all really did make sense. So I did want to pull some cards on this in case Spirit has any other information about this. Yeah. We have the Hanged Man, the Justice card, and the New Beginning. Okay, I'm thinking that means that Putin and those opposed to NATO and those leaders he has tried to help to install that may undermine the strength of NATO. He's not happy with this new president coming in. This is a new beginning. It's looking like this liberalism, and Putin has recently said Western liberalism is dead. Not true, and he knows that's not true. And so it looks like maybe Western liberalism, and before any conservatives out there get the wrong idea of what I mean, I don't mean, liberal Democrats. I mean, the democracy, away from autocracy, not having this concentration of power in the executive branch. It's a lot of these things are involved in the Western concept of liberalism. It's really about pure democracies. So we're getting a new beginning with this, with the new Greek president. They don't like it. They don't like that things are sort of even. They don't want a balance of power. They want more power. And it means a delay for their plans with the Hanged Man. They have been trying to influence elections to have more right-wing, far right, more autocratic, more authoritarian leaning kinds of leaders installed in the different countries. It worked in Brazil. It worked in the US. It worked in Turkey. Did not work in France. It's these, they're beginning to lose. They're beginning to lose. So they don't like this. So that is what's going on. Do they mean harm to the new president of Greece? They mean to sell him on an idea. We have the page of, and they mean to approach his friends. So maybe that's why Erdogan would approach him, because Turkey is still a member of NATO, even though Erdogan is more right-wing. So yes, to dress it up, to manipulate, to put the best foot forward. And magician is also about manipulating, but it's manipulating to get what they want, and to sell him on a new idea, the page of wands. Yeah. And so let's hope that he doesn't fall for it. They're trying to undermine him already. They're trying to entrap him. So that's interesting. Are they trying to get information on him? For some reason, they feel like they can do this. 10 of Swords, 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Cups. No, I think they're going to bluff their way. They're going to bluff their way. They're going to talk about, they're going to try to create controversy. They're going to try to create the impression that people are speaking out against him, and he has many enemies within his own country. And they're going to try to sharpen the swords. The same thing, trying to foment disagreement and conflict, like they did in the US through social media, like they're trying to do again ahead of 2020. So they're trying to convince him that he's being betrayed, but they want to be victorious. They're trying to convince him that to be victorious, he has to become more aggressive. But this is all BS with the 7 of Cups. It's all an illusion. So they're planning. I do not feel that in the end they are victorious. In this idea that they really do want to stomp out the pure democracies. They really do. They really do. Putin really does not believe in democracy as a sustainable form of governing. He really does not. He really is quite paternalistic. He really believes that there needs to be a strong man who then sort of takes care of the country and stomps out opposition for the good of all. That's really what he believes is necessary. He really truly believes that. I've gotten that reading him before. He's wrong. What he doesn't understand is that though democracy may be harder to protect long term and it requires constant vigilance, it is possible, and it is in fact the way the world is going. That's what I believe. Because of information, because we can't keep down information. Of course, in the age of information, he and actors such with the similar motives are trying to manipulate the information and use propaganda. But in the age of information, you can't keep down truth all that long or all that well. So actually, and truth strengthens, and a free press strengthens democracy. So I believe, and what I see is that that's where we're heading worldwide, actually, to greater democracy. But there are many forces against that. There are many forces against that stand to lose some power and control and don't want to lose some power and control. They're fear-based. I think Putin is, as a leader, he is not the right man for the job now. He was definitely instrumental in bringing Russia out of poverty, to the extent that it has come out of poverty. There's still, now the income inequality there is, it's striking. It's awful. You know, I mean, there's still a lot of troubles, but he was instrumental in doing some good things. And I think, and you know, forgive me, but this is the truth. You know, this is the truth. I think that he is certainly not the right leader now. He lives inside, his internal landscape has a lot of fear, a lot of paranoia, a lot of effects of past losses, traumas. You know, never was safe all his life. You know, he can't really relax. He can't really see things more objectively. He can't see a path to a safe and secure system of government that does not involve high levels of control. He cannot see that way. So he is not the right man for the job now. That's my opinion. I do think it's partly informed by what I'm hearing from Spirit, but that is my opinion. So, are there any other questions I want to ask? I do want to add one thing. I did a reading on Putin a long time ago, over a year, and I saw a woman in that reading who made him feel good on a daily basis, you know, who was a lover, who was also a supporter, sort of almost like a political supporter of his, and really believed in him, thought he could do no wrong, really built him up every day. And this was also, you know, a sexual contact every day. I'm so sorry, guys, but yes, this, you know, it was part of his routine. Okay, there we go. Because he also, you know, he does a workout, he does you know, he does all these things that could give him any advantage, you know, and keep him sharp. So he does do those things. And when I was looking up stuff on Putin, I saw her because in my mind I was trying to remember this morning what she looked like, in brown hair. And you know, at first I thought, is that Natalia Veselnitskaya, you know, that attorney who is also probably an agent, at least an informant, definitely an informant for Russia. But no. But something about her skin tone and her hair color made me think that, or, you know, her eyes. But no, this woman was younger and more fit, and still very curvy though. And yeah, same skin tone, something around the eyes that was similar. And I looked it up, and this was the woman who is reportedly, rumor has it, is Putin's lover. And she is a former gymnast, and she does hold a position in his government. So there she was. So I thought that was interesting. Let's look at their relationship now. I feel like as she gets a little older, she's at least mid-30s now. I feel like as she gets a little older, she's less okay with, she still has a lot of hero worship for him, but she's less okay with being non-exclusive. I think in the past that was really all right with her, to know that they were not exclusive, but now I just get the feeling it's not as okay, but she's not saying that. Okay, we have the Moon, we have the Hermit, and we have the Four of Wands. She would like marriage. There's some conjecture she may be his wife already. She would like to live with him in a family home and have that kind of traditional family unit. She feels alone. She feels off on her own too much, and the secrets are getting to her. There's some rumor that they have children together that Putin keeps secret. So let's see about that. I think her name was Anna. Okay. Are there children, Spirit? Well, we have the Ace of Cups, we have the Three of Swords, and we do have 2 kids here. So perhaps nostalgia. Perhaps. But with that Three of Swords, I don't know. I don't know. Not sure. Not entirely sure. I gotta tell you guys from these cards, I'm not entirely sure. Is that mean she would like to have children and it's a source of heartache that she doesn't? Or does it mean they do and it's a source of heartache? I'm not sure that they do. I just am not sure. But anyway, that was interesting too, that had come to me and I could very clearly see her. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I wanted to share that, I'm sure our U.S. intelligence is oh, well, I would like to say I'm sure that a lot of resources are being devoted to making sure that this kind of interference in elections doesn't happen again in 2020, but I already did a reading on that and saw that not nearly enough is being done because the Trump administration is all right with some interference if it benefits them. Oh yes, regarding Trump. So what I saw there was, if we want to know, is Trump in his back pocket, in Putin's back pocket? I don't think entirely. No, I think partly. I think Putin has sway over him, but I do actually think some of the stupid things Trump has said about, like, dissolving NATO and backing out of NATO and stuff like that, were simply as a result of a meeting he had with Putin, or a conversation he had with Putin, and Putin was manipulating him, and Trump was sounding like that was a good idea, and so he said it impulsively, as he does. So, and then had a backtrack. But I don't know. I mean, I think he does want to please Putin. He is concerned about having Putin as an enemy. He would not like that. But he wants business ventures. He knows Putin has information on him. So there's a very, walking a fine line kind of relationship that Trump has with Putin. But no, Putin doesn't have complete control of him. It's not. It's more the ability to sway and manipulate, and some power over him, yes. Some draw over him, yes. And of course, Trump is interested in keeping a financial friend there too, because Putin is very wealthy. And Trump would love to do business internationally with Putin and his friends. So there's that. So it's very complicated, I guess, is what I'm saying. But I don't know that Putin counts on Trump being completely, under his control. I don't think he does. Because Trump, I almost hear Putin say, Trump is a fool. Trump is a fool. You cannot count on him. So what's that? A 10 of Swords. We have the Star card for hope, and we have the Queen of Wands, and that's that new political energy coming up. So that means that, I think that we have reason to hope. We have reason to hope in the new political energy coming in, and becoming more powerful regarding relationship with Russia in the future. All right. But I think I see there's going to be a whole wave of new democratic influence coming in the coming, I want to say decades, you guys. I want to say decades. I wish it was quicker. But if we're moving in the right direction, and I think we need to be careful to keep our eye on that, then that's good. All right. Well, thank you all so much. I wanted to share that with you, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.